We showed the entire world that the American vote and our individual voices still matter. Because when you saw what happened at the end of 2020, there's not a fucking way that Donald Trump should be the president of the United States. This man has overcome every odd, including almost losing his life a couple times to get back where he is. If you don't understand in the big scheme of things, whether you're spiritual, whether you're religious or anything, just write it down on a piece of paper on where he was, starting off with like things like impeachment trials and the Mar-a-Lago raid, all the way up to he's about to take a historic trip to the Middle East this weekend. It's an arc like we've never seen before, probably since the inception of this country. I mean, like some of the upset victories that Washington had, which led to the eventual formation of the Republic in the United States, they're probably on the same level as President Trump's return back to the White House after, almost losing his life and getting kicked out in the manner that he did, fraudulently.
Yeah. I think if you take any politician in American history or in our adult lifetimes, whatever, both Republican and Democrat, the moment their home was raided by dozens of federal agents, like Donald Trump was, you would never see them again politically. They would crawl under a rock, they would disappear, and they would go radio silent for at least maybe a decade, until they try to resurface to write a book or make a stupid attempt on trying to get into politics again. Nobody has the ability to overcome and be as resilient as Donald Trump in American politics. He's built different, and we will never, ever, ever see something like that again, ever.
There are so many people who don't understand, can't comprehend, or are just spoiled to understand how close we were to losing all of this. Like, literally. If Donald Trump didn't win last November, it was over for this country. We would be the European Union within a decade, if not sooner. And the Biden administration was a complete preview of what that might look like. Open borders, destroyed economies, like ridiculous inflation and prices of everything. You had all of this massive trade imbalance. You had wars starting all over the planet. The USA not being able to step in like they had done for centuries and stop it with just our presence there. You see how hard it is to get President Trump to get, Ukraine and Russia to the table to hash this out right now? It wasn't like this in his first term. And it was the standard that was allowed to be normalized under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that has gotten us to this point. And there's, probably people in Russia that are telling Putin, try to wait it out and see if he breaks. Let's see if this is a different version of Trump. And the same thing in Ukraine. They don't want to give up that folk hero known as Zelensky. They don't want to give up that narrative. So, it's one of those things where you really have to appreciate the work that's being done. And getting back into the thread of what we're talking about here, but you got to thank God every night when you go to sleep that you have actual fighters like Kash Patel who went through just as much as the ringer as anybody else did alongside President Trump over the course of the 4 years that he was out of office. And I'll tell you what, he let the Democratic Congresswoman from Pennsylvania have it. Following up on the clip we just played, let's check it out.
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts forward instead of lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second donation hit.
The answer is both. I believe that
the answer is you're failing, not me.
Play my time.
Go ahead.
No, you're out of order.
Mr. Patel, I believe that the members
of the
FBI,
Patel.
and I know many of them, many retired, 38,000 people, as you say, it's a little less than that now, deserve the very best, deserve extraordinary independence, deserve freedom from the fears of being investigated, the freedom of coming forward to make sure they're doing their job. And I'll end with this, that I think it's interesting that in your proposal today, you find yourself at a gulf of difference between you and the president. I wonder how you will resolve that. Will you go to the president and say, we need $11.2 billion, not what you cut out of here? You're asking for more than $1 billion than the president's request. Are you going to go to the president and straighten out that gulf?
I'll do what I've always done and represent the American people, defend this country, and make sure the Constitution is always upheld and the FBI is never weaponized. Maybe you should do the same.